Have you ever posted something online or maybe made a comment on somebody else's post and then you got a mean, spiteful response? Maybe somebody came out of nowhere, a complete stranger, or maybe not such a complete stranger, and left what we call a hateful comment. We call these people haters. And the question really is, how do we deal with them? I get this question a lot, especially from entrepreneurs, and I thought I would dispel the myth of what a hater actually is, and more importantly, what to do about it. We'll be talking about that and more on this episode of the Weekly Momentum Shift. What's up, my friends? JT DeBolt with you today for the Weekly Momentum Shift, your weekly kick in the ass to help you boost your performance and elevate your game so you can accomplish all of your missions in business and life. Today, we're talking about haters, and I can tell you this is one of the biggest questions I get. I get this question probably the most out of a lot of the questions that I get, and that is, how do I deal with haters? How do you deal with haters, JT? And I can tell you that in over 15, almost 16 years of having my business and doing things online, I've gotten hate from written messages, I've gotten it via text messages. I've gotten it sort of behind my back. I've gotten it as a backhanded comment. I've gotten it straight up in my face. Personally, I prefer it when people have the courage to say it straight to my face, but occasionally it happens behind my back, and maybe you've experienced that too. The reality is what you're typically experiencing isn't actual hate. Let's be clear. Hate is a pretty strong emotion, and in fact, we're probably, as far as we can tell, the only species on the planet that actually have this experience or have this emotion in our souls, is this idea of truly hating somebody. And while there is hate in the world, and I'm sure that many of you, possibly you, have actually experienced it, maybe it's been in the form of bullying, online bullying, or in person, maybe you've actually been assaulted physically or verbally. At the end of the day, the vast majority of what people call haters truly aren't. They just aren't. If you think about it, a hater trains 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year for the better part of their life to take you out. We call them terrorists, and I have actually experienced these people. So my perspective on it's a little bit jaded. I quite frankly find that most people who get upset and worked up about these things when people leave comments to them on their posts, on their websites, and etc., I find them to be a little bit overreactive. What I prefer to call them are trolls. So if you think about it, if you ever saw read Aesop's fables or any kind of fairy tale, what is a troll? It's that slimy, disgusting creature that lives under a bridge, right? They use fear and intimidation to prevent the hero of the story from progressing. Isn't that quite literally what's happening here? So let's take some of this energy away from it and stop calling it hate. It doesn't deserve that kind of energy. True hate needs to be addressed. We need to work with that. What we're talking about here is somebody leaving you a nasty comment, leaving you bad words, calling you things and all this kind of stuff. It's unpleasant, I get it, but let's not make it more than it is. Let's take some of the energy away from it and put that energy where it needs to be, and that is focusing on the people we're here to serve. What you have are trolls, and all that troll is trying to do is the same thing as it's trying to do to a hero in a fairy tale. That is to prevent you from making forward progress. What does a troll do? It lives under a bridge. What is a bridge? A bridge is just simply a way to get over a barrier, whether that's a deep abyss, a raging river, or a wide canyon. You get the idea. That troll is trying to prevent you from taking a bold step toward your future. Don't give him that energy. Instead, think of it this way. This person isn't actually attacking you. They're just not. What they're attacking is your message. And more specifically, they're attacking the mismatch in their belief system to yours. Because if you really think about what your message is just an extension of your beliefs. And your beliefs are just an extension of your values. And while your values are a reflection of who you are and what your character is made of, it's not you. So they're not attacking you personally. I know it feels personal and I totally understand it. I've had people call me all kinds of names and wish ill upon me for over 16 years of me building my business, especially online. And by the way, more and more these days, in the last few years especially, it's ramped up. It's like people don't understand the consequences of their words, right? They're what I call keyboard commandos. They talk a big game behind their fingers, but if they were ever face to face with you, they would definitely lack the courage to say the things they say to you online to your face. Just remember that. It is not about you, it's about your words and a mismatch in their value system. That's what they're really attacking. But more importantly, it's not about you, it is about them. It's more of a reflection of their insecurities. It's a reflection of them feeling insignificant in their own world, which means that they are trying to knock you down in an effort to try to make themselves feel more significant. Now, this might sound like a great philosophical conversation, but you're probably wondering, JT, what do I do with this? Here's what I suggest you do about haters. Number one is do not pay them any attention. Do not pay them any mind. You can hide their comments. You can delete them if you really want to. There's some people that say that it hurts your algorithm online. I could personally care about the algorithm. Do what you must do, but the whole point is to not spend a lot of time getting into a back and forth conversation. Don't explain it to them, don't thank them, don't do anything, just simply ignore the hateful comment. That's step number one. Step number two, I would recommend taking a screenshot and keeping it, because you can actually use that for content. You can use that for social proof. You can use it for a lot of things down the road. Just know that if you ever use it as a front-facing communication piece, meaning if you're going to show other people, have the class to blur the person's name and profile out. We don't want to be the person propagating the hate. We simply want to illustrate, hey, this is a comment I got the other day. Very interesting. What do you think? It could be a great conversation starter. But what you might find is that the more you build a loyal following, or a tribe as we call them, those folks will actually surround that person verbally, hopefully, and they will try to point to the fact that you are a pretty straight up dude or dudette. I have this happen to me all the time. When somebody leaves a spiteful comment about me, what is interesting is to watch my following and my tribe rally around me and my message and shut down the quote unquote hater. But at the end of the day, the most important thing that I want you to take away from this is to not play the victim. All right? Stay in your power, be the leader, thank the person either mentally or emotionally, and then move on. Most importantly is do not stoop to their level. There's really no need for you to get into a fight with somebody that you're never going to change their mind in the first place. Don't get down to their level. It's just not worth it. But more importantly, focus your time and effort on the people that you're here to serve. At the end of the day, when you get haters, if that's what you want to call them, I call them trolls, and you get those spiteful comments, it's an indication that you are doing something right, because you are actually generating conversations. You're actually getting somebody to actively engage with what you're talking about. They may disagree with it, but that should tell you that you're doing something right. You're not that vanilla person who's just sort of folding into and melting into the landscape. You're somebody who is standing out. You're saying something that resonates, in this case in a negative way, with somebody. But here's the deal. For that, every one of those people, those trolls that show up and make those comments, you've got about 10 or 15 people standing behind them that do agree with you. Not only do they agree with you, but they're counting on you to show up, share your message, and have the courage to share your vision. That's what's most important. So the question every day is, you can ask yourself, is it really worth it to get worked up and upset over a troll? Or might you want to celebrate that idea? Because the fact is that if you have trolls, my friend, you are doing something right. Number two is, remember who this is for. This is not for the trolls. This is for the people you came to serve. Those people who you came to serve, if they value you and if they're loyal, they will rally around you. And if they don't worry about it. But the most important thing, and this is number three, is do not play the victim. Play the warrior, play the hero, stay in your power, keep doing your thing as if. Don't worry about the haters. Don't worry about the trolls. Stop putting too much energy and attention to that. The real question is, how do you deal with trolls? The answer is, you don't. You let them go, you forgive them, and you move on. Period, end of story. That's how you stay in your power. That's how you lead. And for all you true drivens out there, you better be getting hater comments, because that means you're doing something right. That's what leaders get. Leaders, it's a very unforgiving role that we have, and it's not something that you get necessarily a whole lot of love and appreciation for. So when you're getting the hate, just know that it's part of the process, it's part of the journey, it's part of the recipe. It sucks, but it doesn't have to. At this point, I kind of laugh at it. In fact, I find it humorous. Even when I get it from people I love and appreciate, people that I know, people that are in my personal life, when they send that crap to me or they say things behind my back, I just simply smile, send them a little prayer of gratitude and forgiveness, and I move on. That's my way of dealing with haters, and I hope that helps you. If you got some value from this, make sure you share it with other people. Easy for me to say. Make sure you share it with other people out there who you think could benefit from it, especially if they're allowing all this energy from the trolls to wear them down. And if you got some value, make sure you hit the little green True Driven logo down here in the bottom right-hand corner. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so you can be the first to know and stay in the know when I bring you new content each and every single week. And remember, no matter what course you fly in life, fly high, fly fast, and fly far. Stay driven.